Preez! For our heritage, our tradition, our future! Today, we become...
In this episode of Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools Rugby, we look ahead to this Saturday's derby between rivals Afrikaanse Hoër Seunskool and Pretoria Boys High, live on SuperSport. They say close neighbours make fierce rivals. Neath the shadow of Loftus-Versfeld lie two famous Pretoria schools that have stood side by side for nearly 100 years. Affies and Pretoria Boys High lie virtually on top of one another. But come Saturday the 9th of August, the lines of separation will be as strong as ever in the face of one of school rugby's most famous derbies.
Yeah, I think our rivalry between the two schools dates back. I think we've already had, in 2005, we had a 100th game against Affies. And it's always the Boerage and the Engelsman. But I feel that there's a lot of respect between both schools.
Without a doubt, it basically make or breaks the season. You beat Affies, basically the rest of the season's forgotten about. And, if you lose them, it's also a very big disappointment. And what makes it even better, it's the last game of the season, so it's going to be full guns blazing from everyone.
Wonderlike personeel, wonderlike tradisies. En omdat ek op skool teen hulle gespeel het, toevallig my eerste wedstryd vir Affies se eerste span, daar was net 'n paar, was teen Boys High. En ek het self, hoewel ek in Sunnyside groot geword het, al ons bure was of op Boys High of op Girls High. So ek het net die wonderlikste herinneringe aan Boys High. So dit bly vir ons 'n voorreg om teen hulle te speel.
Pretoria Boys High School, established in 1901, has a knack of producing World Cup winning captains, with John Smit having lifted the Webb Ellis Trophy in 2007 before Aiden Markram led South Africa to their maiden under-19 World Cup title in 2014.
We look at our cricket at Pretoria Boys High. I think we've had a fairly good run the last year and a half. And if I look at the SA under-19 captain, Aiden Markram, a great team player as well as a great cricketer. He actually played fullback for our second team, rugby side, and I know his first love was always cricket. We're very proud of our old boys that achieve and do well in our sporting spheres outside the school.
We're really, really proud of all of them. John Smit is obviously the main mark of all of that, and he was in the famous Rizek House, and we're just we're really proud to have old boys of that stature.
I can remember the game against Pretoria Boys High when John Smit was the captain of Pretoria Boys High, and we beat them by quite a margin, and that was one of the games that stood out for me through the years.
En al my tyd by die Springbokke was John Smit my kaptein geweest, en ons altyd so 'n klein wet aangehad het of 'n klein geldjie opgehad het op die wedstryd. So hy sal definitief 'n SMS van my kry, en as hy die paar jare in ons tyd by die bokke waar dit verkeerd gegaan het vir Affies, het ek altyd 'n klein boodskapie van hom afgekry.
In Affies, Boys High will face arguably their toughest opponent, with the Witbuller having produced 241 Craven Week players and 8 Springboks to date.
Sulke tipe game is altyd baie lekker. Die gees is ongelooflik. Van jongs af kan jy net droom om aan daai tyd te speel en teen daai span te speel. Maak saak wen of verloor nie, dit is altyd iets anders. Want die gees tussen die twee spanne is altyd so goed.
Affies is a great school. They're our challenge. They're a benchmark in Pretoria when it comes to rugby. I know there are a lot of other schools that have very good A-sides, but across the board, Affies are just our benchmark. And you want to play against the best, you must play against Affies.
Springbok scrum half Fourie is one of Affies' favourite sons, having donned the Witpearl jersey 53 times from 1999 to 2000.
Ja, ek het in 1996 Affies toe gegaan as 'n nommer 6 mannetjie. Ek was 500 jare daar spandeer, 2000 gematrikuleer, en ek sal definitief sê is van my 5 beste jare in my lewe. Nou, toe ek die eerste keer gekies was vir die eerste span, was dit 'n ongelooflike droom wat waar geword het. Ek dink die eerste dag wat jy instap in Affies en jy speel rugby, wil jy daai wit trui aantrek op die einde van die dag, en ja, het was 'n ongelooflike groot eer geweest om vir die eerste span gekies te word.
Fourie in standaard 6 was 'n baie gemiddelde skramskakel, maar wat ek altyd van hom sal onthou, hy het sy eie in die afseisoen gaan werk, veral aan sy spoed. Hy het 'n atletiek afrigter gekry en hy het die vrugte daarvan gepluk. En hy is vir my 'n toonbeeld van waar daar 'n wil is daar 'n weg. Van iemand wat gewerk het en gewoeker het met sy talente om uiteindelik, soos ek reeds gesê het, myns insiens Affies se beste rugbyspeler van alle tye te word.
The late Francois Swart was Preez's halfback partner for 51 of those 53 games. Swiss, as he was known, scored 447 points for the Affies' first 15.
This one, Francois Swart, who's kicked very well indeed so far. Hit it well, hit it very well indeed.
Ja, ek was in 'n baie bevoorregte posisie om saam met Francois Swart vir 5 jaar te speel. Ons het eintlik in die jaar voor ons Affies toe was op laerskool kry en weer kon ontmoet. So dit was ongelooflik geweest, een van die beste skole rugby spelers wat ons nog gehad, wat die land nog gehad het en soos ek gesê het, ongelukkig het ons hom verloor toe hy 21 was. Maar hy het diep in ons harte, en almal in Affies harte nog sal bly. Hy was toe hy eerste jaar uit skool uit was vir die Springbok groep opgetrek deur Harry Viljoen. Toe ons 621 gekies was op 20 jaar ouderdom was hy die loshokkel wat die wenpunt hy aangeteken het toe Jaguars se span die wêreldbeker gewen het en sit saam Currie-beker vir die Bulle in 2003 gespeel en toe ongelukkig is hy oorlede 2 Januarie 2004.
Fourie de Preez en Francois Swart het bekleed natuurlik 'n spesiale plekkie in Affies se rugby geskiedenis, want die twee, nie dat hulle net 2 jaar vir die eerste span gespeel nie, maar na skool het hulle baie hoë hoogtes bereik. Fourie wat Springbok geword het en seker Affies se beste rugby speler van alle tye is, beide Francois Swart ongelukkig op die jeugdige ouderdom oorlede, maar wat my meeste beïndruk van hulle is, van standaard 6 af het hulle saam gespeel en hulle spannetjie het aanvanklik baie swaar gekry. Het was nie 'n baie sterk span nie, maar met tipiese Affie guts het hulle vasgebyt en in hulle standaard 9 en matriekjaar het hulle toe groot laure geoes in terme van Preez trofee gewen, Noord-Transvaal klere gekry, van hulle ook SA klere.
The Witbulle played great rugby in the 2 years Preez played for them, with no less than 11 Craven Week players emerging from his matric year. Their encounters with Boys High were tough, hard-fought battles, typical of this great derby.
Ja, ek het ons wedstryd teen Boys High baie goed onthou. Ek was gelukkig in 'n bevoorregte posisie dat ons in my 5 jaar nie 'n wedstryd verloor het teen Boys High nie. Ons na 9 jaar was dit naby geweest. Ons het 2 wedstryde gespeel. Een was baie naby en ons het een daarom redelik ver gewen en my matriekjaar het daarom gelukkig 'n goeie oorwinning gehad, maar ek sal net mense kan altyd daai wedstryd onthou vir ongelooflike gees en kameradie van al 2 skole.
Ja, ek kan dit baie goed onthou, die jare wat Fourie in sy graad 11 en graad 12 jaar vir Affies gespeel het. Dit was 2 jare wat ons skitterende rugby gespeel het, met skitterende spelers in, onder andere Wynand Olivier, Adrian Fonse, Francois Swart, soos ek reeds genoem het, wat in daai spanne gespeel het.
Former SA Under-21 player and current Golden Lions Under-21 coach Joey Mongalo has fond memories of his time at Boys High.
My time at Pretoria Boys High School started in 1999, where I was a Form 1, as they called it back in the day. It was just a massive contrast coming from Thornhill Primary School, just primary school of 300 boys and girls, to come to 1,500 boys. And from the beginning, I just had a feeling that you'd have to do something special to stick out in a school where there's 1,500 boys. But the school itself is, just from the ethos, the manners that they teach you, the academic standards, the sporting standards, it's a fantastic institution. Playing first team rugby Pretoria Boys High is one of the first things that gets introduced to you. The first time you see the candy stripes run out onto Brooksfield, it just brings out emotions in a young man that you're just saying, one day when my time is ready, I want to go represent that jersey. So it is, I've been able to play for the Bulls under 21s, Vodacom Cup. I've represented South Africa and played in the World Cup under 21. But the special running out for Pretoria Boys High in Brooksfield is just a different feeling. You can't compare that to anything else.
Mongalo played with Chile boy Ralapella in 2003, when the Candies managed to end Affies' winning streak of 19 matches.
That day, particularly beating Affies on Brooksfield, where Boys High had not beaten Affies in 18 years, is a massive memory. I think it definitely tops it. If it's not in the top 2, it's probably the top memory that I've got in rugby.
The legendary Preez was in the Affies side as captain, and Joey Mongalo kicked all 18 points. Chibora played a huge role that day, and it was my first experience of watching Pretoria Boys High against Affies. At the end of the match, it was like watching the World Cup rugby final, as it was just flooded with Boys High boys on the field, just lifting their heroes onto their shoulders. It was the first time in 18 years that we'd beaten this great school across the road.
Since that 2003 game, Boys High have managed 2 more wins over Affies, with their last coming in 2008. In total, the 2 schools have met 110 times at first team level, with Affies winning 60 and Boys High 41 to go with 10 draws.
I think it's impossible to forget our clashes against Affies.
The first thing, like I say, when you come to Boys High, the people judge your team by how you do against Affies. So I remember in our Form 1 year in '99, we lost to Affies 17-7. And after the game, we said to each other, boys, well, these oaks are good, but there's nothing that they're much better than us in. So from that game, we knew that when the time was right, we had the beating of them. So I remember they beat us all the years, from our Form 1 year to Form 4. It's just that, again, we picked ourselves up in that 2003 game to beat them on Brooksfield, which is a memory no one will ever forget.
Eintlik heel goed gedoen, maar persoonlik self het ons onder 15 'n wedstryd verloor teen hulle. So ek dink die boys en manne sal met alle wraak uitkom Saterdag en hulle gaan verseker hard kom na ons toe en miskien kan hulle dalk die wedstryd wen.
Dit is wat dit so lekker maak. Daar is nie 'n gunsteling as hierdie 2 skole op die veld draf nie.
Both teams have not been at their best in 2014. However, that will have little impact on a derby that is expected to draw a crowd in excess of 15,000.
Het is een voorrecht voor spelers om na wedstrijd te spelen waar 10-15.000 mensen wees. En die opbouw in die week is ongelooflijk. Er is altijd lekker geest gevangen en die spelers wordt op hulle hande gelig. En die hele school staan net saam as een.
Daar is meer mense wat die Affie Boys High wedstryd bywoon as menige Super 16 of Curriebeeker wedstryde. En dis wat dit so wonderlik maak. Die mense het 'n passie vir gesonde rugby.
Good fences make good neighbours, and Affies might have to reinforce their perimeters if they are to stem the tide of the red, white and green jerseys out to claim a Witbel scalp.
They must remember what they felt like in Form 1 when they watched their first team run out against Affies. Those dreams, those desires, that passion that they had then must express itself in the following 80 minutes. Because once they fought for those 80 minutes and they lie on that field victorious, there's absolutely no other memory that can surpass that memory.
Today, we stand for all that is. For our heritage, our tradition, our future. Today, we become.
Watch Affies versus Pretoria Boys High in Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools Rugby this Saturday, live on SuperSport.